Hello, welcome back to match 1. This is Oldmanpoole. We won the dice roll. We're gonna go first. Hey, this looks playable. I mean, maybe that's a little bit too unkind to the deck, but I think this looks about as good as we can get. We do need to hit another land pretty quick, but assuming we do, I think we're in an okay spot. That's not land. We do have a lot of 3-drops though, and they make treasure and explore, so if we find a land here, I think we're sitting pretty. If we don't, we cry a little bit. River Sneak. Yeah, Slash of Talons is good against that at least. Well, we're crying a little bit. Yeah. That's the problem with having a bunch of 3-drops. I think we're just going to try and kill it. Even if it's blue-red, and this card is just an unblockable 1/1, I think that still potentially poses some threat to us. Let's use our mana a little bit as well. Alright, Looter. So I would love to play the Sailor of Means here, but I'm jealous. Look at all those lands, he's just throwing them away. Hell darn. We are running 16 lands too, like, this is gonna happen sometimes. I do think we probably still just kill it. I just need to make my best tempo plays. Maybe he doesn't have a follow-up? He's probably dreaming, right? He's got 4 mana, 5 cards. You know, he's Knight. Ooh, there's a land. I like lands. So I think we just want to play the Sailor of Means. It's most likely to be able to block. And my opponent drops the dinosaur, we really want to be able to put something in front of it. And even though Emissary looks pretty solid, if it doesn't hit on the Explorer, it's not great for us. So I think Sailor of Means is what we want. I think we have like half the creatures in our deck though. That bodes well, I suppose. And maybe my opponent's just flooded. He did pitch a land, he hasn't missed a land drop. Yeah. That's good against us either way. No dinosaur for my opponent. Okay. Well, we'll play the Emissary of Sunrise here. At the very least, it blocks the Water Trap Weaver effectively. Let's hope to find that land. 3/2 is not terrible either. I think we're just going to bottom this. That's a really good card, but we just need to hit our land drops, I think. Yeah. Feels a little bit bad. I mean, I can see an argument for keeping it there, because we do have a couple more plays at 3. But I think we just need to kind of hold on here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sunrise is just dead here. Oh. Alright. That's a pretty powerful tempo opening. I'm glad we had some early interaction. We could be in serious trouble here. This is not what I usually expect when I think blue-red, but so I guess Siren Lookout probably, and hope we hit. Or we could just play Hammer Skull as a blocker. Pretty good against these. He hasn't necessarily indicated he's got combat tricks. Like, he's been playing Water Trap Weaver, so it's not for sure one way or the other, but he's never, like, tried swinging in either. We don't need the land drop this turn. I think I'm just going to play the Hammer Skull. Could play the Cobbled Wings, but I don't think that's fantastic for us right now. I'd rather save the treasure if we find like Huatli or just need to ramp up for a Windstrider, for instance. I'm gonna bounce. Ooh, Siren's Ruse. Okay. No, he's just doing it for the tap down effect. That's pretty aggressive. Alright, we'll take 4 here. Has to have a reasonable follow-up, though. Uh-oh, this looks big. Okay, well, we can Pirate's Interdiction that, which is nice. And favorable wins. The dream's starting to come online, boys. Gain a couple of life, have a couple of good blockers. Okay, I think we're stabilizing. We're stabilizing. I'm hoping my opponent pausing here just means that he doesn't have good attack anymore, in which case we can untap our Hammer Skull and start. Alright. Yeah, I don't think we can really afford not to block. If he's got a trick, yeah, trick. Don't think there's anything that buffs power. Could have dive down, which is gonna wreck the emissary no matter what. He can have sure strike, in which case we'd rather trade with the knight. So I think we're just gonna block like that. I don't think there's anything that buffs both power and toughness in those colors. I might be about to eat my words, but I can't think of anything. Okay, yeah, see, dive down. That's fine, but not all that stellar against me. The emissary is going to get destroyed no matter how we blocked with dive down, so. So we could play. I think we're just going to play the Headwater Sentries. I think I'm just going to keep playing it slow. This card is very good against what my opponent's trying to do. We can always play Favored Wings and try and take over the game in a couple turns. We don't have to spare the treasure, too. So. Territorial Hammer Skull looking pretty good just as a 2-3 here. I'm glad we had the interdiction for the Sun Crown Hunters. That would have been a whole heap of trouble. Another Water Trap Weavers? No, River Sneak. Okay, well that does represent a clock again. Running out of attacks though. I think I'm gonna play Siren Lookout and Favorable Winds. We do have to start pressuring my opponent a little bit. And a land. Yeah. Not quite the land we were hoping for. I guess we'll just play Cobbled Wings then. Again, I'd still like to keep the treasure if at all possible. Maybe I'm holding that too long. Alright, so River Sneak's gonna get in for 1, maybe 2 damage. This next turn, we can play Favorable Winds, equip Cobbled Wings, swing for 5, re-equip Cobbled Wings, have 2 good blockers back. That might depend a little bit on what he plays here. If he plays like another 2-2, I don't know if we can afford to do that. But if it's just 2, we can maybe allow the value. Why am I getting that little? Ooh, 1 with the Wind's pretty solid too. Maybe a little bit less good against blue in general. I think we're gonna play favorable Winds and swing. Oh, yeah. This puts my opponent on a 4-turn clock. Puts us a little bit open to an attack, but not incredibly. I think if he had a bounce spell, he probably would have played it. So maybe we should have just gone for 1 with the Wind, now that I think about it. I think I'm just going to use the treasure, though, and play Cobbled Wings equip. At that point, we're starting to look kind of scary to our opponent. Yeah. Let's just keep the Hammer Skull equipped too, which is nice. Next turn, we can swing for as much as... So I guess that's 5, as much as 12. Ooh, Run Aground's rough. Okay, we're gonna take a decent chunk here. Hopefully nothing too absurd. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's pretty bad for us. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should have delayed going aggressive for a little bit longer. Felt like he was running out of cards, but maybe not so much. Yeah, we go down to 1. What is this? Oh, I'm yielding. Oh, that's interesting. Wasn't previously doing that. So if I go F3. Alright. Oh yeah, I guess we got down to 0. Team all these knights bigger. Well, beat down. I think Looming Allosaur is probably good. Queen's Commission is probably good. Just stuff to stall, I think, is solid for us. Slash of Talons seemed fine. I think the game is likely to go longer. Means Depths of Desire and Run Aground maybe lose a little bit of utility. If we didn't see any, like, I guess we saw Dive Down, but that's about it. We cut a Cobbled Wings. I mean, it was fine there, certainly, but maybe Queen's Commission is not that good. He does have some random bounce. We do have to double block. Alright, maybe let's try that. Well, I mean, we stumbled a little bit on mana, but I think that this deck is going to have just that sort of problem where we're a little bit too slow, a little bit too clunky a lot of the time. Sounds pretty good, though. Removal, and then Emissary of the Sunrise. And Pirate's Interdiction. Seems solid. The problem is I think this deck, since there's not a whole lot of inherent synergies in blue-white, is kind of as good as the cards you get. I don't think we were, like, incredibly hooked up on cards, even. Alright, let's play the Emissary first. Get a little bit of filtering on the draw. Okay. I'm not super unhappy about that. We did get to draw a card off of it. A 2-1 first striker I think seemed to be almost as good as a 3-2 first striker against my opponent. Let's play the Hammer Skull. Still have a Slash of Talons up. It's possible he just plays another Water Trap Weaver. Opponent did show us a lot of those last game. Ooh, something for 4. Storm Sculptor. Well, Slash of Talons destroys that pretty good. Ooh, I should have played my planes there in case we needed to slash twice. Ooh, that might be really bad, actually. I think we still play the Queen's Commission, but if he has Dive Down, that hurts. Oh yeah. Should have played my planes there. That was a little bit greedy. It's interesting. It shows us, but not instantaneously. Well then. Okay. Well, we're gonna slash this. We'll take 5 and then Pious Interdiction it. And we'll hit my opponent back for 6. It's not a small amount. He already did get some value from the Monster Soar, but we're gonna recoup a little bit with the Pious Interdiction as well. And we have a Slash of Talons. So we deployed our board pretty fast. We have 1 card, my opponent has 6 though, so we have to kill him quickly. Water Trap Weaver, perfectly fine. Tap down the Hammer Skull probably? Yeah. And another play. Okay, and a Looter for no value, but seems fine. So we're gonna swing with both of these and then threaten to pump. He double blocks there. We've got Slash of Talons to really blow him out too. He did see 2 slashes in the first game. I don't think this goes terribly for us regardless. Take my opponent down to 8, we gain another 3. Play another evasive threat. And now he's staring down a Hammer Skull as well. He still has tons and tons of cards relative to us though. We really have to take advantage of our fast opening and I think kill him before he can let those come to bear. But he could play something like well, I guess Air Elemental still gets tapped down by the Hammer Skull. Hammer Skull's pretty good. What's the worst thing he could play for us here? I guess let's find out what he's gonna play. Oh wow, Pirate's Prizes. Almost the dream. He's gonna play a Water Trap Weaver. Okay, tap down the Hammer Skull. Take 4. Paragon Nate's pretty solid, especially because it's got flying right now. Yeah, let's crack in. This is what I mean where this is a 2-1 actually hasn't hurt us very much. All of the things it's been fighting have had 2 toughness. So us drawing a card there at the beginning actually was fairly nice. I think my opponent's deck is probably better than ours. But I mean, all we need is like, I think we're going to take this game probably, and then all we need is like a stumble or something next game, and maybe we'll get to play 2 matches of this stupid deck. Okay. 1-1. Didn't really see tons more. We have to be afraid of the Monstrosaur, obviously. Queen's Commission seemed pretty good there with the Sky Marcher, but I think that was about as good as it's going to be. Water Trap Weaver's still fine, but not real exciting. I think our other cards are better. Like, against my opponent's deck, I think a 2-3 on defense is going to be better than a 2-2 that taps something down for a turn a lot of the time. Yeah. I think I'm going to keep this. And hope for another favorable draw where I have kind of a fast start and my opponent's a little bit slow. Not having any 2-drops is definitely rough. Oof. Speaking of slow starts, I think I actually, I think I want to keep. Looming Allosaur blocks very well, so does the Interdiction. We have lots of 3-drops in the deck. We have our Bomb. I think I'm going to keep. My opponent mulligan down to 6, and then keeps there. And tops, so probably has a reasonable start. We do really want to draw something. That counts. Hammer Skull just is something we can play on turn 3. Means we don't waste quite as much mana. Don't have a Slash of Talons again, which was unfortunate, but and Slash has been pretty good against my opponent. No red though. Playing black. Okay, well, One with the Wind is solid in a while. Not solid quite yet. Okay, take 1. Didn't have a Merfolk follow-up, which is nice. Okay, Looter. Probably gonna pitch something looking for a land if that's the play there, I would guess. Yeah, Tianoli's Knight. Okay. Still no red for my opponent. I like that. Okay, Hammer Skull is fairly likely to get tapped down, I think, this next turn, but after that we'll play the Allosaur, and then we have a couple of blockers going. Wonder if we should have cut 1 with the Wind against this opponent. Yeah, there's the Weaver. Yeah, maybe I should have actually. It's pretty good against bounce, my opponent does have at least some bounce. It's kind of bad against the Weavers too. We want to have lots of creatures, not a few creatures. Alright, well, we'll play an Allosaur now. This does block just about everything in the playbook. Would really love to find a Treasure Maker so we can kick out Huatli. River Sneak's pretty good against her, but okay. Water Trap Weavers for days. But if we ever stabilize, Huatli will just take over. Okay, we go down to 9. Gonna have 2 blockers next turn, one of which is Sailor of Means. Okay, huh? Huatli incoming. My opponent's down to 1 card in hand. We could play another Hammer Skull, but I think the upside of having a mana to play Huatli is just too high to pass up. So I have to hope that the blockers are good. But next turn we can play her, shoot both of these, assuming my opponent doesn't have a great attack, and then we've got 3 blockers for his 2/2s. Okay. Looks like he's just caught on red. Good for us. That's true. He could have a counter spell. That would be really sad. I didn't play around that maybe as well as I should have. He has dive down. That would kind of get us too. I mean, he can't really attack effectively with these guys. So I could just plus and say, hey, she'll take some damage next turn, but then we're a little bit safer. I think I actually just plus her. Keeping her alive, I think, is probably priority number 1. Here's hoping my opponent doesn't find mountains. Imagine River Sneak will come in at Huatli. No, it's not even attacking with it. Okay, well, I guess we'll try shooting it now. No play. Okay, we want to be aggressive? I don't think so. I think everything just revolves around keeping Huatli alive and just going wide. So I don't think I want to, like, just risk randomly taking some damage. Even though we could get in for 2 at the Hammer Skull here. I just want to keep her alive. Even if my opponent finds red, this is just going to be an insurmountable lead. Oh, and my opponent agrees. Okay, well, picked up match 1. Didn't get to see the true genius of the deck in play, but did get to see Huatli once. That's cool. Alright, well, I'll see you guys for match 2. Maybe we'll keep up the lucky streak.